Okay, so I'm going to talk about a download I had recently. So, on the spiritual path, you really want to minimize the amount of suffering you're putting out into the world, right? You know, that's why a lot of spiritual people become vegan slash vegetarian. And, well, vegan's a trap nowadays, but vegetarian, right? But that isn't always the case. And I'm going to get into that, all right? So, I will always let a bug outside every time I see it, like in my house. Like, I won't step on it, I won't hurt it, even if it's like a gnat, I don't care, right? But you know, there's been times I've opened the door or whatever's happened and I've accidentally killed a bug, right? We're big creatures. These things are little. It happens, right? And I used to get so down on myself. I'm like, damn, I'm a murderer. No. And I get so upset. But see, I got a download recently and it was like, understand this. All is God, right? You're God. That bug is God. Everything is God. And it's like this existence is just a big stage, a puppet show, all being orchestrated by the spirit, right? Okay. So understand that that bug was put there, right, for a reason, right? It has karma that you know nothing about, right? You didn't consciously kill it, right? So it isn't your karma. No. You were just being used as an instrument to fulfill what needed to be fulfilled, right? And now if you were to willingly see it and be like, I'm the bigger creature, die, right? No, that would be your karma, of course. But if you're not consciously aware, understand that there's still forces on this planet and this body is just part of the planet, you know? What happened had to happen for its karmic path, and that it is what it is, right? So if you feel this way, have peace knowing that isn't your karma. If you truly weren't conscious of it, it isn't your karma. If it happened before you could even be like, oh shoot, that's different. That's different than seeing it and swatting the fly or whatever. Same thing as like if you're driving on the road, right? And an animal crosses in front of you, right? If you are trying your hardest to avoid it and you somehow hit it, not your karma, not your karma at all, right? So that's why some Buddhists don't understand this, right? They'll be down on themselves and then, you lower your frequency, right? It ain't about that. No. If you see it and you can, of course, get the hell out of the way. But if a force is thrown at you and you don't have anything to work with, you have no time to work with, and it gets splatted on the road, right? Feel compassion for that creature, but know that it isn't your karma. It is not your karma at all, right? I go back to the diet thing, right? I have been on all spectrums of the diet. I've been vegan. I was very malnourished being vegan. Then I was vegetarian, right? Then I was pescatarian because I kept seeing myself go up and up, realizing that stuff just wasn't for me. For some people it is, but my path was meant to prove this, right? And I was on the raw meat diet for a while. And I mean, I'm not opposed to any food. Let me just say, other than pork, because it's genuinely not good for you. But I'm not opposed to any type of food now, right? You don't to be enlightened, you don't have to be plant-based. It's an illusion. No. Here's what it is. Living in society, there is so much meat and so much animal products available to you. It's like it'd be a sin not to eat it, to waste all that. If everybody just became vegan now, right? Everybody became vegetarian right now. You know how much animals would have died for nothing? Like, there is so much meat available in the stores, And God knows this. Everything is going according exactly how God wants it to go. If you still have that, if you know what's right for you, do what's right for your body, right? There's a lot of enlightened beings that aren't vegetarian, right? It's definitely a path, and if you feel called to that, do it, do it. But like I said, I know, like, and I got this feeling one time I was eating sushi because I love salmon. I was eating this salmon, and I looked down at it, and I just got the oneness perspective, and I'm like, this fish died for me, right? It is me, and it's given itself up for me. I have gratitude for that. Like, the spirit that's running all this, it had its own karma, but it synchronized perfectly with my path. And it's like, this food is presented to me, right? This is why Yeshua says, eat what they put before you, right? And he says that. And he also when he says eat what they put before you, he also says what you put into your mouth doesn't defile you, but what comes out of your mouth defiles you. What you speak into the world, your actions in this world is the real issue, right? And people want to say like, oh, vegan, vegetarian, you're so peaceful. No, a lot of the traps people are falling for in these companies, right, with the vegan stuff, a lot of their fake meat and stuff is lowering your testosterone and making you more feminine, right? And we need to be balanced creatures, right? You don't want to have too much of anything, masculine and feminine, everything needs to be balanced. But like, there's an agenda to demonize the more assertive forces for their control, of course, right? But even that control, it's all a big show. God's running the whole show. Everything's going exactly as it needs to, right? But no, see, I don't always, like, I feel bad for these creatures, but it's like this food is being presented to me on my path. I will show gratitude. It is not in this anymore. It's not in this, right? And there is truth to, red meat being cooked. Red meat being cooked can cause cancer. The carcinogens produced from the combustion of the flames on it, right? So if you are going to eat red meat, you can get it from a good source, and it's got to be raw for you to not be worried about those health things. But I don't really eat like too much mammal meat, hardly. I mean, I will, like I said, if it comes on my path and it feels right? I mean, I love fish, but more often than not, just from what's being presented to me from life, more so I'm vegetarian. I still love milk. Raw milk's like awesome. But yeah, no, like in society, right? I will definitely eat fish still, but if I'm living off grid, which I have plans to do that at some point, right? I will definitely try my best to grow my own food and be sustaining on vegetarian, right? With still having cow's milk, having raw milk, eggs, things like that. But like I said, if I ever was in a scarcity situation, it's like, we gotta love life, but this body is life too. You need to give it what it needs. If I had to fish, I would fish, but it isn't something that would be my first option off grid. I'm eating fish because it's abundant in the world we live in now. Like, there's so much meat and fish and all these animal products available right now. So it would be more of a crime to not eat them. And you see those people that like want to say it's, peaceful being vegetarian and vegan and all that, but I don't want to say vegetarian, more so vegan. They're the ones like spilling out stuff at the stores, causing like violent scenes. You think that's peaceful? No. This is why those meat eaters like will be eating meat in front of them, because they're like causing a stir, and they're not doing it for the animals. Maybe a part of them is, but there's an ego that says I'm superior to you, and like that rubs off. People don't like that, Like, you got to do what's right for your body, and you got to trust the spirit knows what it's doing. Now, you can't just get lost in the animal, because there's a difference between the instincts and the spirit, right? And you got to discern between those two things and not get them confused, because that could be an issue in itself. But no, the spirit is running the show, so